Here we are yet again. Wednesday night, Halacha and Chassidus. I wasn't sure what topic to do the week before Shavuos. I was going to do stuff about meat and milk, but it ended up not happening. Maybe I kind of bookmarked it maybe for next week. We'll do about how long you have to wait after meat to milk. Maybe. We'll see. Because I was thinking if I do waiting meat after milk, then people are going to say, why didn't I do waiting milk after meat? Other way around, maybe. Other way around. Because on Shavuos, we eat milk and then some people eat meat after that. Anyway, but seeing as how it's the giving of the Torah, and especially given in our Chabad house that this question does sometimes come up, in fact, maybe more than sometimes, I thought we would explore a little bit of Hilchos Krias HaTorah. Or HaTorah, I do not know if I'm shopping, but
it's basically a share for me.
it's a share for all of us. Now, I probably could have put more sources on here. I did bring the Aruch HaShulchan over here that's not on the source sheet because maybe we'll get to it, maybe we won't, but as you know, I like to try to fit all the sources on one piece of paper. Also, maybe I should have brought more from the Gemara. I'm not sure exactly. But I brought what I brought here, and it is what it is, and we'll see the best we could do. So the Mishnah says in Masech the Gittin Daf Nun Tes Amud Aleph. Mishnah says, and I have here the Kohen to help me with some fancy translations. Elu devarim omru mipnei darchei shalom. So the Gemara in general was talking about, or the Mishnayos really were talking about different things that the Chachamim said, that the Chachamim instituted to better the world, darchei shalom, to enhance peace in the world. So the Gemara continues that discussion, or the Mishnah rather. There are certain things that the Chachamim instituted mipnei darchei shalom, ways of peace. That is to foster peace, to enhance unity, prevent controversy and arguments, and so on and so forth. I guess the Chachamim, they knew that it's human nature that people argue. People don't always see eye to eye. And so the Chachamim enacted certain things to try to turn down the temperature a little bit, to try to reduce the opportunities, reduce the chances for arguments and strife and controversy and so forth. And these are some of them that we're going to say in the Mishnah now. Kohen Rishon. Kohen reads first. The Achrav Levi, followed by the Levi. The Achrav Yisrael. Why? The ways of peace. Meaning, going to come time, you're going to take out the Sefer Torah. Who gets the first Aliyah? I get the first Aliyah. So he's going to say, what are you talking about? You got the first Aliyah last week. I get the first Aliyah this week. And he's going to say, what do you mean? You guys are fools. You're arguing because you got it the other week. I haven't gotten an Aliyah in a month. Another guy's going to come in and say, yeah, but I'm a Talmud Chacham. Someone else is going to come and say, I should get the Aliyah before all of you. And there's going to be it's going to be like this whole fight, a whole argument. So Chacham said, no. We're going to equalize it. Kohen, Levi, Yisrael. Nothing to talk about. That is the way it is. Fine. That's the Mishnah. There's more in the Mishnah, but that's really what's relevant to our discussion tonight. Rashi says, Kohen Rishon. Why? In order that it shouldn't come to quarrel or strife. Takinu lahu rabbonon hai sidra. The Chachamim established this order for Krias HaTorah. The kivum to takanta the rabbonon sulei matzina l'shanuye. Since it's the rabbonon established it this way, so nobody's going to argue and be like, "What do you mean? Who said? What do you mean? Who said?" The rabbis made this takana. This is what they established. You can't complain you're not getting the first aliyah. Only a kohen gets the first aliyah. That's the way it is. So there's no arguments. So you can't say, "Oh, we should change it. I should get the first aliyah." What do you mean? The Chachamim established it in this seder, and the fact that you don't like the seder is too bad for you. That's not the way the takana was. So the Chachamim are trying to avoid strife. Fine, that's the Mishnah. On the next page, in the next Omud in the Gemara, we see as follows. In the middle of the line here on the source sheet, Omer Abaye. Abaye said Naktinon, and I was debating if I should quote some of the earlier Gemara as well. The whole discussion, the Gemara goes through a whole discussion about how we know how did we end up with the Kohen coming first? Where did we get to that? So the Gemara has various different approaches to it. The Kiddashtoi is that the Kohen is sanctified, which is relevant to discussion later we're going to have later. It says that Bar Abu Omar, I don't have this on the source sheet. Reb Chia says, the Kiddashtoi. The pasuk says the Kiddashtoi, and you shall sanctify him, which gives the Kohen a higher level of sanctity over everyone else. As the Gemara says, L'chol davar shebekadusha, for everything in kedusha. What does it mean? Tana devei Rabbi Shmuel. Again, it's not on the source sheet, but okay. It's said in the house of the school of Rabbi Shmuel, v'kidashtoi. What does it mean, v'kidashtoi, and you shall sanctify him? It means l'chol davar shebekadusha, for every matter of holiness, such as liftayach rishon, to open first. Meaning, in the base medrash, you're discussing a halacha, and everybody has their opinion and want to say, who gets to speak first? The Kohen gets to speak first. That's what it means, liftayach rishon. Then ulavarich rishon, to say the bracha first, meaning to lead the benching, birkas hamazon, which is related to our sugya for tonight, getting the first aliyah, and velito mana yafa rishon, and to get a fine portion at a meal first. Okay, so there's a whole discussion. Is it because the pasuk says v'kidashtoi, meaning that it's a d'oraisa, the Kohen is an elevated level of sanctity? It's a pasuk. Or no, it's darkei shalom, like the Mishnah says. Darkei shalom is not d'oraisa. Darkei shalom is a takana d'rabbanan. So is it a d'oraisa, v'kidashtoi, or no? Maybe it's not a d'oraisa, maybe it's the rabbanan. Darkei shalom, the ways of peace. The Rabbana wanted to make sure that people don't fight. So is it a doraisa or dorabbanan? Then we say, well, maybe it's a doraisa, and the reason for the doraisa is darkei shalom. Okay. Anyway, that's the Gemara. So now we get to our piece here. Amar Abaye. Abaye said naktinam. Naktinam literally means we take, or we took, which means we have a tradition. Ein sham kohen, if there's no kohen at the time of Krias HaTorah, nisparda chavila, the bundle becomes separated, which we're going to discuss what that means. We're going to see a Taz, hopefully we're going to get to the Taz, maybe the Shulchan. Nisparda chavila, and we're going to see the Rashi soon as well. The bundle is separated, meaning the Levi doesn't necessarily get the next aliyah. We're going to see, does he get the next aliyah? Does he not get can he get any aliyah? We'll see. But the bundle, meaning Kohen, Levi, Yisrael, it's a package deal, is nisparda. Period. It's separated. The bundle is undone. So forget Kohen, Levi, Yisrael. What do you do now? Whatever you want. Whatever you want. V'omar Abaye, Naktinun, Abaye said further, we have a tradition that ain't Sham Levi, Kohen. But if there's no Levi, do we say nisparda chavila? Do we say the bundle is undone? No. You call the Kohen. And as I think everybody here knows, the Kohen gets the first aliyah in such an instance, and he also gets the second aliyah in such an instance. Maybe we'll get to the reason why. We'll see. Fragt die Gemara ini. Is that really true? Is that really true? The Homer Rabbi Yochanan, didn't Rabbi Yochanan say Kohen acher Kohen, a Kohen followed by another Kohen, lo yikra? You don't do that. You don't read like that. You don't call one Kohen if there's no Levi and then call a second Kohen. You can't do that. Why not? Mishum pagamo shel rishon. Because people will say the first Kohen, there was something wrong with him. That's why you called another guy second aliyah. However, Levi acher Levi, lo yikra. Levi after Levi also, you don't read one Levi after another. Why? Mishum pagam shneim. Now we'll say both of them, flow on both of them. So ki ko amrinon. So the Gemara now answers. When do we say that if there's no Levi, the Kohen reads in his place, meaning the Kohen takes the first and the second aliyah? That is only, says the Gemara, ba'oisoi Kohen. Not that you call a second Kohen for the second aliyah, but oisoi Kohen means the same Kohen. Because if you call a second Kohen, people say, oh, the first guy. By the way, what's the pagam exactly? What's the blemish? The Gemara says, right? Kohen acher Kohen. You don't call one Kohen after another. Why? Mishum pagomoy shel rishon. Because people will think that the reason they called the second Kohen is there was a pagam, a blemish in the first Kohen. What's the pagam?
This is his mother.
Huh?
His mother was a chala.
Maybe there's something wrong with his yichus.
Right.
Maybe. So he's a Kohen or he's not a Kohen?
So that's this stuff.
So it could be there's different ways to understand what the pagam is. Could be the pagam is that he's takel Kohen, but he's a problem in his kahuna. Or could be that they're going to say he's not a Kohen at all.
Okay. But what's the problem with kuna besides yichus?
Well, it could be maybe a certain yichus that doesn't mean he's not a Kohen anymore. I don't know. Like, for example, if a Kohen intermarries.
Oh, so he's
still a Kohen.
Right, but he did something against the Kohen's supposed to do.
I was discussing these halachas with a friend of mine today. Told me in his father's Chabad house, I don't know if I should say this, he has two brothers. One gets the Kohen Aliyah and one gets a Yisrael Aliyah. Maybe we'll go into the reasons why later.
I had a similar story. Somebody went, he decided to do a little genealogy. He went and he found some old great, from father's father, blah, blah. And sees on the stone, there's some, the hands like Tuchanim. So he goes to his grandmother. He says, "Don't ask."
Okay.
That's it. He thought he was a Yisrael. He was a Kohanim. And somebody did somewhere.
Okay, fine. So this is the Mishnah. We saw Rashi, we saw the Gemara. Let's go a little bit weiter. And I'm sorry. We missed the main Rashi I want to see. On the fourth source over here, you have the Rashi and the Rambam. We'll get to the Rambam soon, God willing.
But by the way, what would be the pagum with the Levi? Same thing as the yichus? That
I think so.
just that his father wasn't a real Levi. Like he's not. That's it. It's the only thing you could do. Nothing else to mess it up besides just not being a Levi.
I'm not sure. Okay, let's take a look at the Rashi. The Rashi here is going on our Gemara. Nispar de Chavila. What does it mean, Nispar de Chavila? That the bundle has been separated. Nifsak HaKesher means that the bond, the connection has been lost, means of Kohen Levi Yisrael. The Levi basically has lost his position, his second position, because the whole bundle came undone, because it's a package deal. When you lost a Kohen, you don't have Kohen Levi Yisrael anymore, forget about it. Wow. Look at that, says Rashi. Can you give a Levi an Aliyah at all if there's no Kohen?
No.
Gabbai
Says no.
No, you can't give a Levi an Aliyah at all. Period. No Aliyah. I'm sorry. If there's no Kohen in the shul and there is a Levi, sorry, we're going to give the Aliyah to Yisrael. The Levi's, but I want to. I'm a Levi. Too bad. It's over. He lost his yichus, so to speak. He lost not his yichus, but he lost his covering. Avol metalmidei moidei Yitzchak Levi shamaiti mishmoi she'ein seder l'davar. No. Not that the Levi loses his place and doesn't have a place anymore. Just that there's no this part of the chavila means the bundle's undone means there's no seder anymore.
It's funny, Rabbi Yitzchak Halevi says this.
Oh, you're saying he's nager b'davar. Geschmack. Okay, good. Okay, see, this is the second pshat in Rashi. This part of the chavila, the bundle's been undone. Pshat number one means the Levi loses it. He cannot give him an aliyah at all. Pshat number two in Rashi, no. It's not that you can't give him an aliyah. It's just that she'ein seder l'davar lahaktim Levi liyisrael. You don't have to give the Levi first. You don't have to give him the aliyah. Mishayutza yaktim. You want to give the Levi, give him a aliyah. You want to give Yisrael, give Yisrael. Doesn't matter. Whatever you want. Okay, good. Okay, let's take a look at the Rambam. The Rambam Hilchos Tefillah, chapter 12. Halacha Yud Tes, Halacha 19. Ein Sham Kohen Oile Yisrael. Now, see who Rambam Paskin is like. V'lo Yala Achrav Levi Klal. Passes like the first sheet of Rashi. You cannot call a Levi at all. Rambam. Ein Sham Levi, what if there's no Levi? But there is a Kohen and a Yisrael. Ein Sham Levi, what do is up the Rambam, Kohen Shekar Rishon, the Kohen that you called rightfully for the first Aliyah. What did you do? Choiz of a Kohen who atzmoi, right? Like the conclusion of the Gemara we saw over there. That it's ki kamerin but oisoy koyin, the Gemara said. That's what the Rambam says clearly. Koyin hu atzmoi pam shniya ben koyin Levi. You call the very same koyin in the places so it goes koyin, same koyin, and then Yisrael. Aval lo yikra acher koyin acher. Don't call a different koyin. Why? Shema yomer harishon posel. Maybe they're going to say the first guy has a blemish in his lineage. He's got a problem, which could mean the footnote here actually says that even if his father was known to be a Kohen, so he's a Kohen, but it is possible that his mother was unfit to marry a Kohen, such as a divorcee or something. Divorced woman cannot marry a Kohen. So maybe they're going to say, oh, the guy who gave him the Kohen aliyah, then they count. His father's a Kohen, but his mother was divorced, so there's a problem in his kahuna, so that's why they took him down and they gave a second guy the second quote unquote kohen aliyah. Says the Rambam, therefore give another. People might say that the first kohen was possible, he had a blemish in his lineage, and therefore they call the second guy. And likewise, Levi, also not a Levi after a Levi, same reason.
When would that case be? When would that happen? If everybody's there, so it's Kohen, Levi, Yisrael. If there's no Kohen, then he says Yisrael, Oleh. He doesn't say let's put a Levi first, and then Levi loses it. That's like the first shot of Rashi.
Of Rambam, yeah.
No, right.
Yeah.
So when does Levi?
What's the scenario?
What's the case?
That's a good question. I think we have to say.
Or if there's no Yisrael, you only have Levium.
But if there's no Kohen, so okay. So that's
What if you only have Levium?
Only Levim.
Then you have no choice. We'll call
Shulchan Aruch talks later. We're not going to do it today. Shulchan Aruch talks, what do you do if you only have Kohen? Or what if you have 6 Kohenim or 7 Kohenim and 1 Yisrael? We're not going to do that today, but it talks about it.
Yeah.
Or maybe conceivable perhaps that you make Hoysachos, make extra aliyahs, and then you want to call a Levi after a Levi.
But when the Levi wouldn't go at the end.
Maybe in the Hoysachos you could, if you make extra aliyahs.
But that's
I don't know.
I mean, the obvious thing is like a family, family davening in a minyan, you're making a minyan all Levium.
That's a good answer. But then you have it separate because then you have no choice. What are you going to do? That's the coin after coin. Again, the Shulchan Aruch talks about this.
in this in Utet, I don't think he's talking about whatever.
No,
It's a good question. It doesn't flow.
that's a good question. Yeah.
It doesn't doesn't flow.
Let's now move to the Shulchan Aruch. We're going to do hopefully a few halachos over here, I hope, in the Shulchan Aruch. This is Siman Kuf Lamed Hey in the Shulchan Aruch, which is Hilchos Krias Sefer Torah. Start with Halacha Gimel towards the bottom right. Halacha Gimel, Pashut.
Kuf Tzadik Hey or Kuf Lamed?
Kuf Lamed Hey.
Oh, you wrote 195.
Kuf Lamed Hey. Thank you. Interestingly, just Bashach protest that you corrected my typo over here. So I was looking in the English Kohen Gemara today, Masech Gittin, and it brings over here what to do. It says Ancient Kohen. You know, they have notes on the side, the halacha notes. Ancient Kohen. What do you do if there's no Kohen? So it goes through, quotes Rambam, Sefer Ava Hilchos Tefillah, 12:19. That's what we just saw. Shulchan Aruch Arachaim 131:6. It's 135. So I emailed them. Found the typo. I've emailed them typos. But anyway, I corrected their typo, now you corrected my typo. So Baruch Hashem. So it means people are paying attention a little bit. Thank God. Okay. So it says very simple. Halacha Gisif Gimel says Pashut, Kohen Kohen B'Torah Rishon, Achav Levi, Achav Yisrael. Pashut. That is the halacha Shulchan Aruch. Let's skip now. The halachas between are interesting, but it's more about the Kohen coming first and so forth. But what do you do if the only Kohen in the minyan is in the middle of reading Shema? What do you do then? Let's see. We'll go to Vav. In nichnas haKohen lebeis hakneses. Ach shehis chalai Yisrael levarech birkas HaTorah. There was no Kohen. So what did you do? You called the Yisrael, not a lady. You called the Yisrael. Chaber says you called the Yisrael. There's no Kohen. All of a sudden, creak, you hear the door open, like this door over here, especially we hear it make a lot of noise. God willing, soon in the summer, God willing, we'll have all the doors replaced and everything, Mitzvah Hashem. And all of a sudden, the Levi is standing by the Yisrael standing by the Sefer Torah saying a bracha. Kohen walks in. What do you do? Now you have a Kohen. The Yisrael keeps going. He keeps reading. He said they're saying the bracha already. He keeps on going. Mr. or Rabbi Kohen came in. Too bad you were late. You don't get the aliyah. However, says the Shulchan Aruch, Avol Borchu, if all the Yisrael who was already called up, and he's standing by the Sefer Torah, and he's holding the Atzei Chaim, and he says, Baruch Hu Hashem HaMavoirach, and then the Kohen walks in. Says the Shulchan Aruch, Avol Borchu Lo Yehevi Aschala. That is not considered having begun the blessing.
So even calling him up wouldn't be an issue then. Yeah, more
Right.
even that.
Correct. Now the Kohen will take that aliyah. The Kohen will take that. Even the guy said Baruch already. It's not. First of all, it's not a bracha levatala. It's not a bracha. Baruch Hashem V'Vayrach, and everyone answers Baruch Hashem V'Vayrach. Good shkoyach. Shkoyach.
Could the Kohen be Michael, or he has to take?
That's a very good question. There's a whole fighting in the Nosa Kalim over here about if the Kohen can be Michael or not. Can you kick him out? It says in certain instances you have to kick him out, kick the Kohen out. Where in Sif Hey it talks about it. We skipped that.
That's ironic because it's like the opposite of like the whole thing is to give him cover, and you're kicking him out, so you don't have to give him cover.
Shiloh comes up, said, "Hey, what if it's a fast day? And the Kohen's not fasting." Okay, we're not going to do that right now because it's not fasting now, so we're not going to talk about it. But okay, so back in the Shulchan Aruch here. So he says, "Baruch Hashem HaMavoirach," and then the Kohen walks in. What do you do? Well, according to the Shulchan Aruch, that's not considered having started the bracha, and therefore the Kohen will take that aliyah. He rightfully will reclaim his aliyah. What about the Yisrael? He's like, I was getting. What, you're just gonna pull the carpet out from under me? That's not fair. He doesn't go down. He doesn't leave. Why? Because it's embarrassing. Should kick him out. He's embarrassing. So he stays by the teva. We don't have a teva. We're gonna get one, God willing, one day soon. He stands by the teva, means stand by the bima. He waits there for the Kohen aliyah. He waits for the Levi aliyah. For Ozikra. Now he gets his chance. By the way, the Kohen goes and repeats Baruch Hashem V'Vayrach. Baruch Hashem V'Vayrach. Kohen repeats it. It says full bracha and everything. Then the Levi, and now the Yisrael is already there. So I don't think you call him up again. I don't think so. I didn't see explicitly, but I don't think you call because he's already there. Calling up is to bring the person up. You don't call him, so you give him aliyah. Now, let's take a look at the Machaber, what he continues and says. If there's no Kohen at all in shul, who do you give that first coveted aliyah to? Zok the Machaber, Kohen Yisrael b'mkom Kohen, and v'lo yala achrav Levi, no Levi. Paskin's color like the Rambam, like the first opinion in Rashi. Says the Rambam, Avol l'rishon yuchol lalos. Avol l'rishon yuchol lalos. So the Levi, according to Ramah, the Levi could get rishon, according to Ashkenazim.
Is there a new? What does it say after the word lalos?
Next page. But when you call him up, you have to make it clear. You have to stipulate. What do you have to say? Yamoy, blah blah blah. Yisrael being Kohen. You must state that. Why? Shelo yitu loymer sheze Kohen. Yishmak. You have to say it, not just. No, you have to stipulate. You have to say this guy is not a Kohen. He's been Kohen. Now here we have the tour. The Tan. It's a little bit complicated. Let's see if we can maybe take a look at it. I wanted to. Okay. We're not going to get to everything today, but we'll do what we can. So the Taz starts just because the first line or so was chopped off, so I put it on the bottom of the first page. The Taz starts over here, but it's going to continue on the next page on the full page of Shulchan Aruch. So it says Avaluish. So the Ramah says you could call a Levi for the first Levi. Lashon HaTorah. What does it say? The Torah says, Omer Abai, quoting from our Gemara in Masechet Gittin, Omer Abai Naftinan, Ancient Kohen, look the page. Left column is the Taz, Nispardach HaChavila. Nispardach HaChavila. The bundle's undone. What does it mean, the bundle's undone? So we saw that about already. Pirush Rashi. The Lashon Echad, Shalayikid Levi Cloud. First, Lashon of Nispardach HaChavila means you cannot call a Levi at all. The deal is off. It was a done deal. It was a package deal, rather. And once the package is undone, Shalayikid Levi Cloud. Don't call Levi at all. V'chein Kosu, Rabbeinu Chananel, so he has Rishonim that support this view. Pirush Acher, Pirush Rashi, but Rashi gives a second Pirush, which is Shelo Yakdim Levi Yisrael. Not that the Levi cannot get an Aliyah, rather that the Levi doesn't have to precede the Yisrael. Ela Mishayitza Yakdim Im Yisrael Gadol V'Im Levi Gadol. So whoever you want, if Yisrael is a Gadol, means he's a Talmud Chacham, and the Levi is also a Talmud Chacham, so similarly they're equal stature. Then you feel, or you feel Shavyon, or even if they're of equal stature, who could them? The Levi comes first. That's what he says. V'chein ikar al. Fine. Now, that's really a third Pirush, I think. It's a third Pirush. Let's see. Now, the Taz is going to pick apart the Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch says you cannot have a Levi following that Yisrael. That we saw, chapter 12, Halacha 19 that we saw. You cannot have a Levi afterwards at all. That's the Shulchan Aruch quoting Lema'an. Behind the Pirush Aleph, that's according to the first Pirush of Rashi. Kain calls it the Kesef Mishnah. Kesef Mishnah says, Lema'an, that is to say, Shaklali cannot call Levi at all. But the Ramah is going to the second Pirush. So you could call a Levi. You just don't have to. You could. The Tamuali, Frek the Taza, what's going on over here? How does he combine these two opinions? He's going in the Ramah. The Ramah should have said V'yesh oimri rishon yochalalis. That there are those who say, because it's the second opinion of Rashi. There are those who say that the Levi could take the first Aliyah. What does he say? He just says, over here.
If he wants to, he can go first.
Yuchalalis. Avaluishon yuchalalis.
But he doesn't say Yeshom.
Looking at Rashi, the second opinion of Rashi?
No, look
the Ramah.
Second
opinion of Rashi, yeah.
His question, Ramah's and
Yeah.
Rashi.
Yeah.
And said of the Var, Lagdim Levi Yisrael.
Yeah.
The Mishra say Yakdim. It didn't say Dafka, the Levi has to go before the Yisrael. It's just whatever. Whoever goes, goes.
Right.
So what?
So I think the Taz is asking, why did the Ramah say Avol Rishon yuchalalis?
Okay, so that's like the second opinion of Rashi.
Say Yeshom. Let's see. Let's go back to it. Let's see. Lost my place. Okay, we should pursue further the Lashon Hasheni Talib Gedula. The second thing Rashi says is it depends on who's bigger Talmud Chacham. Whether he's greater or even if they're equal, then the Levi comes first. However, the Ramah but the Ramah doesn't mention that's from Rashi. But was it from Rashi? No. So what's going on over here?
Well, there's a footnote in the Taz. You have the Yesh. The book of Shomrim. There's a kind of iron road. There's a Yesh Shomrim on the Taz. היה יום לכתוב ויש Shomrim.
What? A little bit confused right now. I can't even see what that says. How did you?
You sure it's a Taz?
It's the Taz, yeah. Bagos and Amohu Kapirish Hasheni, but Tamuli, Hayach, Hirki, Beis Hadeos Biyachad. Hoylo Lichta Biyish Oimin Rishon Yachalalis, Vesud the Loshon Hasheni, Tolib Gedulo Veshavin Halevi Kodim. V'Rama Lo Yizochem Mizeh. What's the Loshon Hasheni? I think that's in the Rambam. Where's the Rambam? No, it's not in the Rambam. So what is going on with me? Okay, we're gonna have to come back to this Taz because I apparently missed something on this Taz over here. Oh, it's going in the tour, maybe. 1 second, I'm sorry. I'm totally confused. This Taz is gonna need some more work to figure out what's going on over here. Let's pause on the Taz then. And this Mishnah Brura piece, I think, was later. I think we have to pause here. It's a little bit of a train wreck at the end. Okay, let's pause here and do some Chassidus. We'll have to come back to this traveling.
Yeah.
Can we shop some time or something? Okay, I'm sorry about the confusion at the end.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. For the sake of doing halacha and Chassidus, we'll learn some Chassidus.
So in the meantime, we shouldn't give Kohen any. We figure out it's going. Okay.
I caused more problems than I was hoping to. I was hoping to clarify things, that confuse things.
Or we dropped the whole thing, we're not even going to Mishnah Brura, nothing? Or because we're out of
I
time?
don't want to take away the Chassidus.
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't be fair to the mindmen to take away the mindmen.
Yeah.
On page 168. In the middle of the page where the paragraph begins Vihina. Vihina, Iskasha Zu. Seldom Iskasha, but Torah, when a person connects to Torah, good timing, here comes Shavuos. A person connects to learning Torah. He becomes connected to Hashem's wisdom. Behind him. The Hain basic and Nigla the Torah, she moves Chachmos of the his body. Shakak Eva Chachmos his body. When a person learns Halacha or Gemara, and they're trying to figure out what is Hashem's will. Does the Kohen get the Aliyah? Does he not get the Aliyah? Does the Levi get the Aliyah? 2 Levis, 2 Kohens, what do you do? Trying to figure out what does Hashem want me to do. That's why we want to know the answer. We want to know, what is Hashem? It's not just that I want to know what to do. He said, I want to know what Hashem wants me to do. Yeah. and everything that is going to be any chiddush that's going to come about was said to Moshe Rabbeinu at Har Sinai. Shavuos is coming. The kol halachos the Torah sheba'al the timing, all the halachos of the Talmud, of the Gemara, and the reasons and the rationale and so forth. It's all Hashem's chachma, all Hashem's wisdom. When a person is engaged in learning these svaras and halachos and rationale and so forth, the person is in a state of unity with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So that's in terms of learning halacha and Gemara, and also also learning Chassidus, like we're learning right now, and like we learn Shabbos mornings, a mimer before davening, and between Mincha and Ma'ariv, the end of Shabbos, we learn more Chassidus, So too, when a person learns Pnimis HaTorah, the person is learning to know about Hashem, which is a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah to know about Hashem. The Chol and Yonah B'dini HaTorah K'moshe Hem B'gash V'yusam Harei Yeshim K'moshe L'mitazim B'sfiras Al Yonos U'Vinyan Meruchni. Everything, the way it exists in our material world, has some type of counterpart, or maybe we would say parallel, from where it's derived in the spiritual world, in the spheres and so forth. Such as, for example, Halacha the Shnai Looks and Batalis. One of the famous Mishnayos, Shnai Looks and Batalis. Two people grab onto a talis at the same time. What do you do? Okay, there's all discussion. What do you do? So this idea, Harelamata Utalas Gashmi, Gashmi, here in our world, when this case happens, it's talking about an actual garment, and it's talking about two actual people. However, this very same halacha, people are studying, well, not people, but the Neshamas are studying in Gan Eden as well. The Shaman is shaykhing in a Gashmi's cloud. Over there, talis. What's a talis? It's Gan Eden. There's no talisim in Gan Eden. No black striped talisim, no blue striped talisim, no white striped talisim in Gan Eden. So what's a talis? So they're learning about the concept, the level. What is a talis? What is a garment? What does it mean shnaim? What does it oichazim? What are the concepts represent in this spiritual idea? Like the Rashbi and the Zohar is coming from Levi, like the Jim Bar Yochai revealed to us, like the Arizal revealed to us, and as it's revealed to us by the Rebbeim and the teachings of Chassidus, one is it represented in spiritual terms. That is the inner element of Hashem's wisdom. So when a person learns Chassidus, they're learning the pnimis, they're learning what's on the inside. Like we spoke last Shabbos about there's a pnimis, there's a chitzonis and a pnimis to everything. And sometimes we have to turn it inside out, like the Meister that I mentioned from Simchas Torah, 1950. The Rebbe told Wolf Greenglass, the term is kapota inside out. And he was worried, maybe I did something, I shouldn't wear a silk kapota. It's not becoming someone like me. I need to be in a higher madrega. The Rebbe told him, no, I just wanted you to be a bissel lebedik, to get in a Simchas Torah mood. But everything has an inside, everything has an outside. The outside of Torah is the Gemara and the Halacha. The inside of Torah is the Pnimius HaTorah, is the Chassidus. So we have to have both. We have to have both. There's actually, happens to be, says, there is a Maila Nosefes. There's a bonus when you learn Chassidus and the impact that it has on the person learning it. That even though, what are we learning when we talk about the spheros like this, Atzilus, or the world of Atzilus, or the sphere of Chochmah, or whatever spiritual level we're talking about? You know what it is. We don't really know what it is. We know that there is such a thing as the world of Atzilus. There is such a thing of the sphere of Chochmah Atzilus. I don't know what it actually is. I know that it is, but I don't really know what it is. Nevertheless, which is not like the case when you learn halacha. When you learn Shnaim Oisim Batalis, you know what a talis is. And you can picture in your mind what would happen. Two people grab the same thing at the same time. You can picture it. You know exactly what it's talking about. You understand very, very well. But when you learn Pnimius HaTorah, you learn about the spheres of Chochmah, the sphere of Bina, the sphere of Das, and Keser, and Atzilus, and Bria, the different Oilamos. I don't know what these things are. I know what it is the way I know what a talus is? Definitely not. I know that there's such a thing. Such a thing as Atzilus. Such a thing as Bria. But Mikol Mocha, nevertheless, even though on the one hand we might suggest that my knowledge of the inner teachings of the Torah is less extensive, less of a thorough understanding. I don't really know what it is. It's almost like saying, I know that when I hit the light switch, the light will go on. And I know that that's because there's a circuit. And I know that when the circuit is completed, electricity will come. What's electricity? Energy. I know what that is. I've ever seen electricity? Never seen it. I've seen the effect of electricity. You've ever felt electricity? I've felt the effects of electricity. I'm speaking about myself. I don't necessarily know what it is. I know that it is. I don't know if it's the best mashal, but such a concept. But when I learn Shnaim Oichim Batalis, I know not only that there is a talus, I know what a talus is. And I know not only that there are two people arguing, I know very well what it means to have two people arguing over something. But when I learn Chassidus, I don't really know that. I learn about concepts that I can say, okay, fine, that exists. But I don't know what they actually are. I can't picture them. I can't smell them. I can't touch them. Nevertheless, there is an advantage when you learn Chassidus. There's an extra bonus. Turn the page, Yediyah Zu. Yediyah Masig al Koponim because it says Aruchni. You feel it hits you, it impacts you. As verpaim der Herd. You der Herd. You can't really translate that word. In Yiddish, there's Her, which means to hear, Hear, Her and der Her. I don't know if you can translate der Her. Der Her means to hear.
Wait, you have hair? Hey, Ayin Resh?
Hey, I'm Rish Tess.
Oh, okay. I don't hear the hair. I don't hear the top. The top.
I said it was.
Oh.
It was somewhere in the towns, I think. Es werkt in der Herd. And then was miskasher v'nidbag was there. Because you dare hear it, you don't just hear it. You don't just hear it. You hear it. That's how you translate. Hear means to hear. Der hear means to hear. To sense. To I don't know.
So what are you saying when you learn Pnimius, then
You dead head, your neshama hears it. Your neshama senses it. Your neshama is aware of it. So you stick to it. It sticks to you. It connects to you. You bond with it in a deeper way.
and with Nigla it wouldn't be like that.
Seemingly, that's what he's saying, yeah. Or at least not at the outset. Pimus HaTorah, your neshama hears. Your neshama hears what it is, so you connect to it in a deep way. And so therefore, when you learn Chassidus, you learn the inner teachings of Torah, you're turning your kapota inside out. Forget what the outside of my kapot, but 1 second, but I bought this new kapota and it looks so nice, it's silk and it's beautiful. Turn it inside out. Who cares what it looks like? So in a sense, when you turn it inside out, you go to the pnimius, you start to realize, you start to dead head, start to become aware that the outside doesn't matter what it looks like. The outside doesn't matter. That's inconsequential, what it looks like. What's on the outside, that's the surface. What's really relevant here is what's on the inside. So that's by me also. So you go out of, you emerge from your own gashmius, you emerge from your own material perception of reality. Geht raus von seiner Grobkeit. So much better in Yiddish than in Hebrew. You go out of your Grobkeit. Do we need to translate Grobkeit? It means Grobkeit. Your coarseness, your coarse materiality. That's the opposite of Grobkeit. Hadakus baruchni. Dakus means it's thin, it's fine, it's edel. That's also Yiddish. It's refined. Was die Edelkeit, here you go, Edelkeit, that's Dakus is Edelkeit. Was die Edelkeit, der hält sich hin benafshay ba'atzmoi. This Edelkeit, this sensitivity, this, yeah, that's maybe the best word, the sensitivity is sensed, hein benafshay ba'atzmoi, in you, in your essential being, in everything you do. As alt is badakus v'ruchni is built in nitvos begeshem be'etzin, you start to sense and realize that everything, there's a ruchnius in everything. Everything has a spiritual component. So you stop feeling yourself. You stop being aware. You stop being self-aware. It's not about me. Self-awareness here is not a good thing. What do you need to be self-aware for? On the contrary, turn your kapota inside out. Forget about yourself. Forget about what it looks like. Forget about yourself. There's something deeper. As etliche, whatever. As etliche zach, was tut, these things that you do, is dos edel. Nit grob be'etzim. So it comes out that what ends up happening to the person is they become more edel. They become more refined, more sensitive. That's the advantage of learning Chassidus. That it's sensitive, it helps to sensitize an individual to the inside. Questions, comments?
The coarseness and Chassidus don't go well together. Right?
No.
They contradict each other.
Not so well. No, the grobkeit. Chassidus, a person learns Chassidus, they should become a little bit more refined. At least a little bit. You're going to say, I know a guy who learns Chassidus and is not refined. Nobody's pointing fingers. So they say that there are three things in life that if you've experienced them, if you've had them and they haven't changed you, they haven't affected you, then you need more. And if you have more, it'll affect you. The first thing is money. Person gets a lot of money, it doesn't affect them, give them more money. It'll affect them eventually. Second thing is mashke, alcohol. If a person takes a little bit of mashke, I don't feel it. Take a little bit more, you'll feel it. And the third thing is Chassidus. If a person learns Chassidus and is still the same grobe mensch, still the same coarse individual, so I don't feel the effects of Chassidus, have some more Chassidus. It'll affect you. Okay.
Best thing is to have money, mashke and Chassidus all together.
The worst thing, the lowest point a person could reach is when they're nitfash, kasher noifel b'hargosha. You fall into feeling, into sensing yourself. Or material, noifel b'hargosha v'nitfas b'geshem. And you become aware and in touch with and sensitive to materiality, to physicality. So therefore you think, I'm doing good. You think, I'm doing fine, I'm doing great. What does it mean? We see this, I'll give you an example. It says, there's some people, they're very good people. They're toivim be'etzem. They're inherently good and they want to do good and they do good. They love doing a favor for another person. And sometimes even they enjoy doing a favor for another person. But they're feeling, they're tuned into the good feeling they get. Fühlt sich sehr, hält stark on sein Mochus Atzmo. He is very aware that I feel good about this. Pirush, meaning, as by Zicha Mochus Dover Yeser Lamida. He evaluates himself, he views himself. I am a Mechus Dover. I'm a thing. I am me. Mechus Dover, it's hard to translate a little bit. A thing, a matter, is not a compliment over here. But the reason is the reason is because the only person that all they ever think about is how great they are, how many good things they do, how fantastic they are. The good thing, good qualities they have. Side the things that the positive qualities that he does have, and side the positive qualities that he thinks he has. That he's convinced himself he has, but he doesn't. And because of that, it was so he's very self-aware. He's very much in touch with himself and his feelings. I don't think he means that it shouldn't be in touch with the feelings. But this is his focus. His focus is me and my happiness and how I feel and how I feel good and I feel good and I feel good. It's all about me. So when he does something, he makes sure everybody sees. He makes sure everybody knows. Some say that the great thing about Avram Avinu in the Akedah was that there was no one around. No one to know what he did. Mainly you sacrifice your son. At least there should be a headline in the newspaper. At least people should know how much you love God, how much you, wow. No, but there was no WhatsApp group, there was no live stream, there was nothing nobody knew about. You did it anyway, and nobody knew. So this person, because he's so self-aware, these are my words, not the words of the Bible. He's so taken by himself. It's like the guy goes on the shidduch, and after they're talking, they're sitting by the bar at the hotel having a drink, Coca-Cola. Could you cut the line with the line? I can cut it. It's hard, knife, whatever. With the Coca-Cola or with the water, it's healthy. And they're talking very nice. And the guy turns around and says, "Anyway, I've told you enough about my life, enough about me. What do you think about me?" The guy can't stop thinking about himself all day long. Me, me, me. He's not a bad guy. He's a good guy. He does a lot of chesed. He's a wonderful person. It's just all he thinks about is himself. Feels that. I'm worried it's a lot to talk about. I'd love to hear what you have to think about me too. There's a lot to say, isn't there? So therefore, everything he does, he's machzik toiva. It says in Pirkei Avos, right? That if you learned a lot of Torah, al tachzik toiva la'atzma. Don't think, Epis, that you are so great. Why? That's why the Eibusha created you. So don't think you're someone special. You learned a lot of Torah. No, the Eibusha created you for that. Well, you think you're someone special? The Rebbe says pshat though a little bit differently. If you learned a lot of Torah, al tachzik toiva la'atzma. Don't save it for yourself. Don't keep it for yourself. Share it with others. That's why you're created, to share the Torah with others. So this person who can't stop asking the girl on the date, enough about me, what do you think about me? So everything he does, he makes sure that people see what he's doing. So therefore, when he does a favor, a real favor, a legitimate favor for another person, is there zich machzik toiva? I did good. I really helped him out this time, didn't I? I really got him out of a bind. Wow. I always pull through for my favorites. And then furthermore, he says to the other guy, Zes, take a look, he says. Look how much I did for you. I mamish helped you out. I did a toiva for you. I did a favor for you. He tells the other guy.
Look what I did for you. Look at the big favor I did for you. Oh, I'm going to do you a favor. I am doing you a favor. I did you a favor. And it might even be Pasha makes the guy's life crazy. It's like, you did me a favor 10 years ago. Leave me alone already. You're going to keep reminding me you did me a favor 10 years ago. Leave me alone. But he makes the guy's life bitter, Brett. He's making the other guy's life bitter with all the favors he's doing him. Leave me alone, the guy's thinking. Stop doing me favors. It's like he murdered him. Like he killed the guy. Leave him alone. Do him a favor. Move on with your life. Let the guy live already. Said the Friedrich, don't think it's because the guy's a bad guy. Not a bad guy, he's a good guy. He's a wonderful individual. But it is a schlechter. Don't think he's a bad guy. On the contrary, he sincerely wants to help his buddy. But circling back to the beginning, back to our problem, being that he's been chapped by the material nature of our world, and he only looks at the outside and he forgets to turn his kapota inside out. It is a grabir mensch. So he's coarse. Liegt in our goshas atzman. He's licked. He's living. He's like up to his knees in our goshas atzma, in feeling himself, in his own self-awareness. Yemod b'meile alts was tut is sehr grob. So everything he does is coarse because it's all about himself. He sticks out. He makes sure everybody sees what he did. Hey, you know the favor? Hey, you know what I did for Tzvi the other day? You know, I did. Let me tell you, I helped. He was in a messed up situation. Well, I helped him out. Tells everybody. It's because I'm so great. Is etliche Zach was tut is edel. But if you could just get out of your own gashmias, of your own materiality, of your own physical nature, just a little bit, you'll become a little bit more edel. You'll become a little bit more sensitive. You won't have to be that everybody knows the nice thing that I did. Nobody has to know. I can still do the favor for the other person. I don't have to advertise it afterwards. And that's more edel. It's more refined. Adrab, es soll gar nicht nicker sein for dem anderen. Nobody has to know. Doesn't have to be nicker, doesn't have to be recognized. Nobody has to know what I did. Und das ist der Teil, was kommt von dem Lima von Primus HaTorah. And this is the good, this is the advantage, this is the positive outcome that comes from learning Chassidus. And again, if you didn't experience that yet, it's just like mashke and money. Have a little bit more and we'll experience it. I was hoping to do this next paragraph too, but because I did write on the chat that we would hear the mice of the Baal Shem Tov. I was optimistic we would get to the next paragraph, but it's already 9 o'clock. So I feel bad going all the time. So we have to mark it for next time, God willing. And yeah, thank you for coming. And it's a fun. We continue. Shabbos is coming. Shabbos B'midbar, Shabbos Achdus. Ish Echad B'lei Echad. Followed by Shavuos and Ritz Hashem. Lots of good stuff on the menu. Kiddush, bringing.
Yeah.
Getting ready. Okay.